You know, it's easy to assume that today's heating systems are really the pinnacle of human innovation. Efficient, clean and reliable. But way back in the trenches of World War I, soldiers relied on an invention so effective and resourceful that honestly it could still outdo many modern portable heaters when it comes to fuel efficiency and versatility. And this isn't just some myth or a bit of nostalgic exaggeration. It's actually the story of the Tommy cooker, a forgotten trench stove that, despite its humble size and crude appearance, really demonstrated the kind of ingenuity that still inspires engineers, survivalists and history buffs today. So, for about the next minute, let's dive into a world where warmth wasn't a luxury, but a fight for survival, and where a simple metal tin, believe it or not, changed everything. The Great War was fought not just with rifles and artillery, but honestly against mud, cold and relentless damp. In the trenches, temperatures often dropped below freezing, and soldiers simply could not risk making open fires for warmth or cooking. Smoke could give away their position instantly. What they needed was a small, smokeless, efficient heat source that could work in, well, the most miserable conditions imaginable. Out of this necessity came the Tommy cooker, a simple, pocket-sized stove distributed to British troops. At first glance, it looked unremarkable, a small, squat tin filled with a jellied fuel known as solidified alcohol. But when lit, it provided a controlled, consistent flame capable of boiling water, heating rations, or even drying soaked gloves. Unlike bulky coal or wood-burning stoves, it didn't require a large fire pit or ventilation. Soldiers could light it in a dugout, a trench recess, or even inside a makeshift shelter with minimal risk. Its simplicity was its brilliance. It required no moving parts, no pressurized gas, and honestly, no maintenance at all. You could drop it, dent it or soak it, and it would still function once dried. The design was cheap, mass-producible, and incredibly lightweight, qualities that made it ideal not just for soldiers, but really for anyone needing dependable heat in an emergency. Modern portable heaters often rely on electricity, but, you know, in survival or battlefield conditions, electricity is a luxury. Even gas-fueled stoves require pressurized canisters, which can be bulky, prone to leaks, or dangerous under extreme temperature shifts. The Tommy cooker, on the other hand, burned solidified methylated spirits, a form of alcohol gel that stayed stable, lit easily, and produced a hot, steady flame. When tested against some modern survival stoves in field conditions, replicas of the Tommy cooker have proven remarkably efficient. It could boil half a litre of water in about 10 minutes using just a few ounces of fuel, and it did so quietly, without giving off thick smoke or bright flames. That stealthy efficiency made it perfect for wartime, but it's also what makes it valuable for survivalists today. Unlike modern heaters that depend on batteries or propane, a Tommy cooker could be refueled indefinitely using simple, widely available materials. In a pinch, you could make your own gelled alcohol fuel by mixing ethanol with calcium acetate, something easily done with household materials or survival-grade alcohol. For history enthusiasts, rebuilding a Tommy cooker isn't just about nostalgia. It's a tangible connection to the resilience and creativity of soldiers who made do with what little they had. For modern preppers and outdoor adventurers, it's a piece of forgotten technology that still outperforms many high-priced tools. To make one, you only need a small metal tin. An old sardine can works perfectly, and some jellied alcohol fuel. Fill the tin about halfway with the gel, then pack it lightly to ensure even burning. Light it with a match or spark rod, and you'll have a steady flame ideal for heating a mess tin of stew or boiling coffee water. Once done, snuff the flame with the tin lid and seal it to store for later use. Because it's nearly smokeless, you can safely use it in enclosed or low-visibility areas, though always with ventilation, of course. Campers who've recreated the design often report that it's more dependable in wind and rain than modern gas burners. Even in freezing temperatures, it lights reliably because the fuel doesn't need vaporization pressure like butane does. This isn't just theoretical. Some outdoor instructors have adopted World War I stove replicas for field survival courses, teaching students how to make long-lasting refillable heat sources using recycled materials. It's a lesson in both history and sustainability, proof that the ingenuity of the past still holds practical relevance today. What makes the Tommy Cooker story so fascinating is how it exposes a timeless truth. The best tools are often the simplest ones. In an age where we're surrounded by high-tech camping gear and electronic survival gadgets, this century-old invention shows that human creativity can thrive even under the harshest conditions with the humblest materials. World War I soldiers didn't have three-dimensional printers, portable power banks, or chemical labs. What they had was necessity, and necessity, as always, bred invention. The Tommy Cooker wasn't perfect, it didn't burn as long as a full stove, and its heat output was limited. But its reliability, low cost, and adaptability made it indispensable. Many veterans later kept or recreated them for personal use after the war, a testament to its enduring practicality. For anyone today exploring historical reenactment, bushcraft, or self-reliant living, this small stove is more than a relic. It's a masterclass in minimalist design. You can still build, test, and adapt it with modern materials, learning from a generation that faced unimaginable hardship, and yet managed to engineer solutions we can still learn from. The Tommy Cooker might have been born in the mud and misery of war, but it remains one of the most underrated survival tools ever devised. Its story bridges history, technology, and human adaptability. Whether you're a historian uncovering wartime innovations or a survivalist seeking dependable off-grid tools, this forgotten stove deserves a place in your knowledge arsenal. If you enjoyed this deep dive into forgotten ingenuity and the practical lessons it still offers today, make sure to subscribe to In the Beginning for more explorations into the lost technologies that shaped history. Share this with a fellow history enthusiast or prepper. You never know who might be inspired to bring a forgotten flame back to life.